It is the 23rd. I don't imagine this will take all too long. So we've got 5 examples to burn through here. And so what we're doing is we're solving quadratic equations that are in mixed up fashion. So for example, like I said, I've got 5. So here we go with the first one. I gave you a couple day and a half-ish worth of practice on I made sure that all the first, I don't remember what it was, like 20, 25 problems I gave you, that they all just said quadratic equals 0, equals 0, equals 0. So I thought I'd give you a little time to warm up to the idea of how to do this before I started moving things around. So clearly this is a little bit off kilter, right? So what we want to do is we want to move everything to one side because we really, really, really want it to say this. Remember, everything we do is based on the idea that I need to be able to say that something times something else equals 0. Otherwise, factoring is honestly relatively useless. And so what we're going to do is we're going to decide which side we want to move everything to. I, you'll hear me say this if you take Algebra 2. I mean, you'll hear me say it a lot this year, but then that next time you'll hear me say this a lot too. Just it's a quadratics 101 kind of basic thing. You want to focus on this term because he's like the Mac daddy, granddaddy term of this problem. And so if I let him go negative, then I'm making my life significantly more difficult. So what we always want to do with quadratics is we want to control the red term. Everyone else will follow him. If that, what I circled said x squared, then I would leave it there and I would move everyone to his side. But because he says negative x squared, I'm going to add him across and move him to the left, and he's going to become positive x squared. Okay? If you hear me say like 4 things today, let that be one of them, okay? So you want to control we call that the quadratic term. You want to control it, make sure it's positive. Sometimes that means you move it, sometimes it means you leave it. And then, of course, the minus 12x needs to go next, and he's already on the correct side. And then the 32 will go next. So what will I put after the minus 12x? Nice job. Because we had to move it across, it changes into a plus 32, right? And now it looks like what we've been doing the last couple days. And we should be able just to burn through this. A simple, like, this ought to be light work for you guys by now. So what 2 numbers do I want? Obviously 2 minuses. What numbers? 8 and 4 are going to do what we want. There's other numbers that make 32, but this is the only combination that'll give us that precious minus 12x in the middle. So our solutions to this equation are x equals 8, comma, x equals 4, right? So it's basically what we've been doing. It's just what's going to happen at the beginning now is we're going to have a little bit of prep work to do before we can actually solve the problem. So let's go with round 2 here. So we have x squared plus 25 equals 10x. So again, we're thinking about this term. His name, remember, he's the quadratic term. Do we want to leave him or move him? Leave him, right? If you move him, you're going to mess him up. So if he's already positive, then leave well enough alone. So x squared says, I'm going to stay here. Thank you. Who goes right after x squared? B, yes, minus 10x, because we have to move it across the equal sign. We've been talking about this since August, that when you move something over the equals, you just change it, right? I mean, you could make it all official and say I'm subtracting 10x from both sides, but really at the end of the day, it's just a minus 10x and then the plus 25 stays. And again, the factoring by this point should be relatively straightforward for us. So we're going to build our shells. What are my signs? For sure. And what are the numbers? 5 and 5. They both happen to be the same, which means it looks like we only get one answer to this problem, which it's one answer with what we call multiplicity, but you don't need to list it twice. You can just say, oh, so x just equals 5. Done. Okay. Let's go again. Round 3. Shouldn't be feeling much burn. Are we content with this the way it is? Why not? Right. Nothing else matters. I don't give two gadoopers about the 42 and the 17x. What I do care about is this red guy. And if the red guy's negative, remember, he's the boss. So everyone's going to go where he goes. And where he goes is based on where will he be positive. So it's kind of annoying, but then the 4x squared goes across and everybody says, I'm coming too. Because like we all got to be on the same side. So 4x squared shoots across, 17x shoots across, 42 shoots across, and now we're right where we want to be. Right? Bless you. So this will be a little bit of a step up in the factoring. You know, since you've quizzed on this already, that this problem isn't like its predecessors, right? It's a significant step up in difficulty because of the 4 and the 42 and all that. So let's work as a team. Let's divide and conquer. Some of us can try the 4x and the 1x template. Maybe some others of us in the room can try the 2x and the 2x template. What do we know about the signs? Yeah, there's got to be one of each, right? And that's all, again, based on just this thing I'm circling in yellow. He's the boss here. He says, if I'm a negative, you're one of each. So the most common thing to think of when you think of 42 is probably 7 times 6. That's what most people would think of. The other combinations of 42. So we have one in 42. I'm not really feeling that one. We also have a 2 and a 21. That one feels like it's got some life. Um, just saying. I mean, I don't, maybe not. Yeah. And then of course there's 3 times 14, right? That's kind of one that hides from people. And then there's 6 times 7. So those are all the combos that make 42. I feel like if I put a 6 here, that's great news. Why? What's 6 times 4 all the way out? 24. And then in the middle, if I put my other one, 7, I get a 24 and a 7. And I know there's a negative in there somewhere, but the point is if you have a 24 and a 7, they're 17 away from each other, and that's what we want. So the way I have it doesn't quite work, right? We do. But we got the 17, which is great news. We just got the wrong flavor of 17. So we want to change our signs to minus and plus. But we did find it. So there it is, our 24 minus 7. And so I don't need this other template. What are the solutions then to this equation? 7/4, good. And the other one is -6. Good job, guys. Okay, good there. Let's go again, round 4. This time I'm going to change it up a little bit, kind of mess with you just a hair. You guys give this one a shot, okay? Here's your pass. Do you notice anything odd about this? Yeah, so what does your spidey sense tell you, like your instincts? Combine those suckers, right? Like we don't want to be playing around with multiple like things flying around. Did I just I'll see you at once. So should I move 3x squared to the right, or should I move 1x squared to the left? You guys are pretty smart, right? You know that the decision that I make is going to be based on where will it land as a negative. And so clearly we want to take the yellow pathway. And so we're going to wind up with 2x squareds minus 13x's plus 15. And this again isn't very bad. This is like middle of the road factoring. Any questions about what just happened? Right. So we got the setup, we nailed it, and now it's just time to do our thing. And that's shells. What are my signs? Minus minus for sure, because they multiply to make a positive. So there's no way there could be one of each of them, right? There's not a lot of options to try here. You've done enough of this to just, you're probably already starting to feel it. If you put the 5 here, you get your 10. You put your 3 here, you get your other 3 to make 13. Right. So what are the solutions? Yeah, you keep making me wait for that. You leave me hanging. And x equals 5. Good. And then I just have one more. What'd you say?
Challenge time.
Challenge? This one's going to be a little bit interesting for you. So first, the overarching question always with quadratics from the get-go is where am I going? Like it's like a tidal wave of stuff. Am I going to tidal wave all my stuff to the left or tidal wave it all to the right? So here's my question. Am I moving all these things to the right or am I moving all these things to the left? Right. If yeah, it's important that you understand how that question is massive because I don't want to start out with a negative amount of x squares. So the yellow is the pathway. Don't think it has anything to do with left and right. It's not about left and right. It's about because it's all relative. Like I just want to make my decision based on where these two things that I'm circling in purple will come out as a positive. That's it. Nothing else matters. Nothing. So I'm going to add 5x squared across to give me 9 of those. And then I'm going to subtract 3x across, giving me what? Minus 3x, minus 3x. They're gone. Which is why I saved this example for last, because this is a little bit of a different twist, a little flavor here, a little extra spice on bite number 5. And then we have to add 4 across, of course, giving us minus 16. Do you recognize this? You saw 2 of these on the quiz you took. 2 of them. They have a name, and if you don't know the name, I'm not going to be offended. What's more important, rather than knowing the name, is do you know how to factor it? This is one of those shortcut guys. I don't need to sit around and guess and check. Remember him? What's the square root of red guy? 3x. What's the square root of yellow guy? 4. So you just simply build them as square root plus square root times square root minus square root. Boom. Love difference of squares. They're so quick. Once you learn to spot them, boy, they're quick. So I have 2 different answers this time. What answer do I get from this red one? X equals
4 or -4/3.
not a kid. And what answer do I get from this purple one?
4.
Yes. And so if you, on an Algebra 1 test, or actually any math test, if you were to leave your answers like this, 2 thumbs up from this guy. But there is a more professional way to write this, and it's a little symbol. It's called positive negative. It's not plus or minus, okay? It's a positive negative. So you could just write x equals positive negative 4/3 if you want to. I would accept what's in the white box very happily. I would love what's in the green box. I would take either. Any questions? Okay, so that's the newness for today. I'm going to give you another worksheet, and this time you've got to, on every problem, move some stuff around, get it prepped, and then do your thing. Got it? Okay. So let's get started. I mean, if you want some help, I don't mind. You know that I've always felt this way. So on assignment 54, here's what problem 1 looks like. We have 5x squared minus 19x plus 9 equals -1 plus 8x. So just over and over again, just train yourself, train this into yourself today. So the rest of your math career, it's just kind of like autopilot. Do we want to leave 5x squared or move him? We like this. Yeah. So this guy is like, hey, I'm positive, and there's no other x squareds to make a decision about do I need to go join to anybody else? Like he's got no like term. So he is granddaddy. He says, I'm sitting right here. I'm putting my roots down right here. So 5x squared sits and then everyone else is magnetized towards him. Got it? remember the goal is this. So we need to vacate everything that's over here on the yellow side. We can't have anyone left. So I would do the x's first. So how many x's will we have right next to this 5x squared? It's easy to say minus 11, and those are the things that cause your algebra teacher to make you start showing more work again. Because I get that negative 19 plus 8 is negative 11. Like I know my math like you do, but the trouble with this is that we don't see it if we don't show it. And I'm not saying you have to, but you cannot just combine like terms when they're on opposite sides of the equal sign. You have to be cognizant of the fact that one of them is changing to join the other. So the minus 8x builds a minus 27x. Cross the equals is a big deal. It's been a hot topic this year. And then we have to add the one across, giving us plus 10. So this is what it looks like when it's ready. I feel like this is kind of where the problem begins, I guess. And so good news, this is pretty simple factoring, just on the grand scale of things, this is pretty low level, right? Because the signs are both minuses. 5 is a prime, so there's only one template, and there's not a whole lot of ways to make 10. You see it? You feel this one? You start to feel not that sounds weird, but like you start to like almost communicate with the problem, and you just feel that if you put a 5 here, that's sensible, right? Because it's going to get us really close to our destination. That's not always the right vibe, but when you feel it, you go with it, run with it. Because then if I have the 5 there, then I have to have a 2 here, and you can actually see it just happen. It just falls right into your lap. There's the minus 25. There's the minus 2. Boom, right? So I know that 2 or 3 weeks ago, factoring felt like a random search. You're starting to feel more like it's less like that, I'm guessing. So, what are my answers? First one, and don't leave me hanging.
Well,
Thank you. You don't leave me hanging that. Thank you. X equals 2/5, straight up, confident, quick. What's the other one? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Want to do another one? Okay. Uh, some other point later on down the line, you'll have to start checking these to make sure that they work. That's more kind of way down maybe the next class kind of thing, but there does come a point. Algebra 2 is going through it right now where you have to check these. But if you get them, you can move on. It's okay.
so what would you do with the plus or minus?
I wouldn't do the plus or minus in this case because they're not the same number. So I only did the positive
Oh,
negative sign. So like if I
yeah.
got x equals 4 and my other one happened to be x equals negative 4, since they're the same,
Yeah.
that's when I would use positive negative 4 like that, right?
Okay.
Good question. But those are just totally different. So number 2. And after this, you can just pick some. I just thought I'd do the first couple, and then you guys can jump around if you want and pick random ones or whatever. If you look at one and go, "Ooh, that's going to be difficult," we can help each other out.
Oh, yeah.
Again, what does it come down to? This is not random. It's about this red guy. Does he stay or does he go? He goes. And where he goes, everyone goes to. So x squared says, I'm going to move across. I need you to change me to positive x squared because rules are rules. I don't do anything with the negative 2x. I do, though, rename him. He's no longer called negative 2x. He's now called minus 2x. So he goes from that sign goes from being an adjective to a verb. Okay, it's a negative when there's nothing in front of it. It becomes a minus when you put something in front of it. So we have x squared minus 2x. And what's the number? Minus 24. We got to change it because we switched it across. Right? There's this. Not sure.
So if minus x squared was just x squared.
Then we would have left it there.
Left it alone.
And we would have brought we would have brought the 2x across to him. So now that we've got our setup done, we just build our shells. This is super light work factoring by this point, right? What are the signs?
You just have them mixed up. Yeah.
And then we need a 4 and a 6 in this case. And that's because we want the purple and the green. to make -2, which these do.
Um,
I get this question a lot, and people say, well, what if I have it this way? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine, dude. Like it still works, right? What matters is that you have a chunk, you have a thing, you have an item. You have the red item, x minus 6. Okay. It can't be plus 6. It's got to exist as x minus 6. Whether you put the red one before the white one, I don't care. Nobody cares as long as it's intact, right? So what are my solutions then to this equation? X equals what?
-4.
-4, and x equals
Yes.
+6. Got it? What others? Do you spot any others that you're interested in going over? 5? Sure. I don't know why this audio thing is popping up here. Oh, there, I made him go away. That was easy. Um,
Leave it there.
leave it there. So the left side becomes your workspace, right? 10x squared's like all you come to me, and the -31x says, well, I'm already here and I don't have anybody to go with me, so you can just copy me down. But then these two guys say, well, you got to put us together. But again, don't say something rinky-dink ghetto like -30, right? How do we get this 8 across here? By adding it, switch it, however you want to say that, as long as you're aware that it's not -22 combining with -8. It's -22 combining with +8. And what does that make?
-14.
Yes. And there she is. So this is our top tier, right? There was one on the quiz, I think, remember on all the versions, it was a little bit harder, but like this is top tier, right, for Algebra 1 because I've got this checks every suck box. The first suck box it checks is that we've got multiple templates. So we have 10x, 1x, 5x, 2x. And the second suck box that it checks is that the sign in the back is negative, which means we have to deal with you've come to appreciate the ones where they're both pluses and both minuses. You know that they're easier. So that's the second suck box. And then the third suck box is the number in the back being a 14. So we really have to deal with a lot of options here. 1 times 14, obviously 14 times 1, 2 times 7, and then of course 7 times 2. Like we know that it's probably not going to be the one I'm crossing out in purple, right? We get that. It would be silly to put a 14 way over there because then it's going to get buffed and become way too big. So like I think that one we can just take off the table. What would you guys like to try? Sure. Which template?
Bottom.
Thank you for saying something. I was wondering how long we were going to sit there. I appreciate that. Does this work? No. And that's okay, because every time we guess something and it doesn't work, we're one step closer to finding the one that does. So 7 and 2 are not dead. You want me to flip them? Yeah, sure. So like you want me to take the 7 and 2 and still use them, but switch their locations. Okay, like this. And as we've learned, that makes, of course, a big difference because
35.
I get -35 for the purple, and then I get +4 for the green. And last I checked, -35 plus 4 is -31.
Yeah.
And it works. So what that means for us is that we've found the answers. I mean, pretty much, right? What answer do we get from this one?
Well,
Mm-mm. You're on it. You're so close. Just don't forget. You got to change that sign. Remember, I appreciate that you got the numbers in the right order. That was awesome. But remember, you got to do the opposite thing because we're trying to make things go to zero, right? So like on this next one, we get x equals positive 7/2, right? You guys got it? Any others that catch your eye or you just want to work? Good. Well, I'll just pause this and then when you guys yell, you have 8 minutes, use them well. You should be able to knock out at least 2 or 3 more problems in 8 minutes, maybe four. Use your time well. And then if you have questions, let me know.
Sorry, but X squared is the boss.
The boss, the positive, right? Yeah, make him positive. Yeah, we don't care about X. The X's and the numbers will follow X squared. X squared goes where he needs to, and then everyone else follows him. Yep. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he's negative, he has to move. If he's positive, he stays.
Right.
And everyone follows.
Right. So number 7. Okay, so it starts out in a bit of a mess. And so for me, the big question, the first hurdle that we need to agree to clear is, are we going yellow to the right or are we going red? Sorry, yellow to the left or red to the right? Right. And we're basing it all just on Mr. Purple, right? Like Mr. Purple says, hey, you make me positive. So on this left side, we should now have a positive x squared. Did I not? Oh, I forgot to put my x. I apologize. And then we're going to move this 12x. Make sure that you have him over there now as a plus 12x. Remember when you move something across an equal sign, you have to change it. And then the 35 doesn't move. He's just still a positive. So we just, instead of calling him positive 35 now, we just rename him plus 35. Are you with me? So if you had, well, I don't know. Does that make sense so far? And then you want to help me factor? So let's build our shells. What are the signs going to be? Plus, plus, right? And the first numbers that come to mind when you think of 35 are going to be the right ones in this case, right? Of course, 5 times 7 makes 35. And that's nice because not only do they multiply to make 35, but then our purple green adds to make 12, which is what we wanted. So what are our answers going to be? Nice. Nice. Did that solve your issue?
Yeah, I just put negatives on 12 and 35.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just important that you just memorize if you move it across the equals, change it. If you don't move it across the equals, don't change it. Okay? Let me know if you want to do another. Okay. Any others while I'm unpaused? Yeah, Julian?
So if it's a negative square, they move the units now if it's not, it stays, and then the other numbers from that other side comes that up.
Yeah, if your x squared's negative, fix it. Make it, move it and fix it. And then everyone else will magnetically follow wherever the x squared goes. Sure. Yeah. So kind of good news, bad news. The good news is we got our 0. The bad news is it's not really set up the way we want, right? Because of this guy. So notice in this case, I don't even look at anything else. We have to train ourselves to just like a hawk, just go right to the x squared and deal with him first. So in this case, we're going to add that to the other side. And then everyone else will follow. And the reason is, so like when I move the 2x squared, I'm doing it with a very specific purpose. I want this negative to take a dirt nap. No more. So I moved it with purpose. and direction. These other ones, I'm just going to move. You're driving me nuts. The other ones I'm going to move because they need to go with him. You understand? Like I'm not moving the X and the 10 because I care about what they are. I'm moving them because they have to go with Big Daddy, right? So 2x squared says, okay, I'm over here. X, get your butt over here and become a minus X. 10, get your butt over here and become a minus 10.
Oh, I did minus number, okay, minus X minus, yep. Yeah, equals 0.
They have to go in this order of X squared first, X second, number third. That's called standard form. And trying to factor things when they're out of order is, I mean, it's possible. It's just really hard. It's weird. So, and then from here,
Oh. Oh,
and then from there, you just factor. Say again?
I don't know why I just like meeting that was.
Because we moved it across the equal sign.
Running in.
So we wanted to just coming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like one, okay.
Right.
Negative one, yep. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Probably.